Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Hello, welcome back everybody. It is Jeff again coming to you from the Minecraft vanilla server, and my inventory is kind of full of garbage because I just got done doing a little bit of a pranky prank. You guys will have to let me know if it gets discovered, because it may be discovered by somebody who doesn't necessarily regularly make videos per se. If you know what I mean by that, more of somebody who might do other things such as streaming on a regular basis or something of the sort. But I've said too much already. That being the case, I've realized, standing up here and looking back this way, that this thing is off. And it's off because I took the corner out of this wall and not of this wall, but it was because this one I could easily take out and cover with snow and you can't really see it. Whereas this side, you can't do that as much to, because, well, I already need to get rid of these. Because of the fact that the wall is here, not buried into the building. So what I think I need to do is, granted it looks right from the outside right now, if I extend this out to where it's supposed to be right here, it looks off. I need it to move over by 1, and I think to make it 1, 2, 3... that'll be 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think what I'm going to end up having to do is make my edge actually come up to right here, which it logically should, and then I'll have, and if this moves over 1, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to shift this entire house 1 that way to make this thing actually look right, which kind of gets annoying for the part up there. But I think it's worth it to do because, you know, I want this thing to be centered, and I realized it's completely not centered at all. And there's kind of no way to make it centered with a 4 space here, so I'll have a 5 space. It's like a 5 head, you know, somebody with a forehead that's just a little too big. But anyways, that's not nice to say at all. So we're gonna pretend I didn't say that, and we're just gonna go through and start taking out this wool. While I'm doing this, guys, it is cherry blossom season here in DC. I know you guys hear about the cherry blossoms. It is actually, it's a wonderful, wonderful time out in the DC area. It's beautiful today. I worked last night. It was actually a frost advisory this morning, but it's like 72 degrees right now. And I mean, it's just kind of, it's weird. It came out of nowhere. Granted, I had to go get a wetsuit today, wetsuit rental, and I had to drive out to some place, and the guy was like, this is odd. This is like way too early for a wetsuit rental, but okay, here you go. And I hope the weather holds out because it's something for the fire department. It's a Swiftwater Rescue Day to finish out Rescue Tech, this part of Rescue Tech, I should say. And it's a requirement by the county, but it might get canceled if the water temperature doesn't make it to a certain degree by Thursday, which is when this thing is supposed to be. But I have my wetsuit already anyway. It's amazing. I found this place, like, they suggest you get the wetsuits from this place. Every time the Public Service Training Academy suggests you go somewhere, it's always out in, like, Germantown or Gaithersburg, which, from the Public Service Training Academy standpoint, is close. But if you're somebody who lives in DC, to go out there on a specific day is like a ridiculous trip. And so I looked at other places and actually found a place that's amazingly cheap. Like a week rental is like $35 for a wetsuit, which I think is awesome. I've never actually rented a wetsuit before, but the other place is $35 for a 2-day rental. So I think I made it out pretty good. That being said, back to the cherry blossoms. I haven't gone out and done the whole like cherry blossom like thing yet. I don't know if I will. I kind of haven't for the last 2 years, mainly because I went 1 year and it was awesome. It was this big festival downtown and it was great and it was a lot of fun. And the next year they started charging for the festival, which I didn't like. And I don't know if they charge for it this year now or not, but I mean, I've seen the whole cherry blossom thing, and I'll tell you, it makes DC an insane place to be. It is so so busy around right now. There are so many people everywhere that it's good and it's bad. Now, one of the good things about it is, it's tourism. Nebris! Hey there, Mr. Nebs. Did GeoGuessr take you here? I don't know what happened to our GeoGuessr games. They're just gone. No, they're not just gone. I'm sure that they'll come back. But, so there's lots and lots and lots of people here in DC right now. And, DC's huge for tourism. It gets nice when there's not a lot of tourists around because it really does get, like, overly crazy when there's just too many tourists. Judging by the flies. So, DC's flies. Wait a minute. That could be anywhere on this server. I mean, it's nice to take a break from the tourists in like the wintertime because traffic and stuff is already just ridiculous and bad enough in this town. Adding all the tourists to it it's not traffic normally because they usually ride the metros and stuff, but it's like foot traffic, and foot traffic is crazy around here. But, that being the case, whatever. Tourism's cool. I like tourists. I had to drive to go get my wetsuit today, and I had to drive through downtown, and it was crazy busy. I was like stopped. I can't say for no reason, but I mean just because there were so many people crossing the street that you couldn't even get through. Like, you couldn't make a left turn. If there was like 2 cars in front of you, it was going to take at least 3 light cycles to get through because of the fact that it was like 1 car was making it through per light cycle because there was just so much cross traffic going on the entire time of pedestrians. But either way, pedestrians or tourists in DC, how do I put it lightly? They're clueless because they don't live here. They don't know that DC is such... I can barely navigate DC half the time. It's an insane place to try to understand how to take roads, how to get places. Like, it takes a long time to understand the system, and I barely even understand it. Still, I've lived here for, 7 years now. Good God. It's been a long time. So, I understand that these people, have problems navigating this place. But the problem is, you got to mix that with, what have I dealt with lately? I have dealt with so many. I don't know if it's the area I live in. I think part of it's the area I live in here in DC because it's kind of, I've talked about before, it's an area that's being gentrified. It's not gentrified yet, it's being gentrified. So it's still got, kind of that, bad neighborhood vibe that's getting better, but there's still a lot of, the bad neighborhood stuff that happens. I mean, I grew up in it. Or I can't say I grew up. I went to college and stuff in an area like that. I went to college in downtown Flint. I lived there for, multiple years of my life. It's, something I'm not specifically, used to, but in a way I am used to it because, it's what happens when you live in a place like that for so long. The issue is, I've dealt with so many of the people who lived here, like these young kids, who feel so entitled that they're just better than everybody else around. And, it makes me feel like an old man when I say this because this is something I would literally hear my parents say, like, kids nowadays, I can't believe they're doing this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But that's really how I feel. I was walking down the street the other day to go get some Seoul Mexican food. It's like a fast food Mexican, but it's more authentic Mexican. It's essentially an authentic Chipotle. Let's put it that way. It's like run by people straight over who moved here from Mexico, came here, started this little Mexican restaurant, and it is freaking delicious. Julie and I, we love Seoul. We can't get enough of it. It's so delicious and yummy and just, that's all I gotta say is So I was walking down the street, and it's about 3 or 4 blocks away from my house, and I was walking down the street to go to Seoul, and right in front of me, there's a school. Why do I... There's a school that is up the street from me, so often in the mornings, all we hear is people, walking by the house, mother effer, blah, 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 N-word this, blah, blah, blah. They talk just crap. Like high school kids, do. Everybody, they're walking down the street. They're using any foul curse word they can in their language, just, you know, as they're talking to each other. And, you know, it's really strange that they honestly don't care, because it's through the middle of a neighborhood. But, you know, at the same time, I didn't necessarily care when I was, you know, cursing a lot and stuff when I was younger either. But these kids, I think they were coming from the school, because it was probably around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and there's like an elementary school, and there's a middle school, and there's a high school right around the area. Hi, Skellington. And these kids were probably 13, 14 years old, and they were walking in front of me, and there were those people that were walking with that sense that they are better than you. And all they were talking about was, you know, I'm going to F up that B. And I'm trying to keep it lightly, because I'm just trying to, reiterate what they were saying without being as vulgar and grotesque. But, you know, I'm a vulgar person as well, so I don't hold it against them for using the language per se, because I also use... Damn it. I also use very foul language sometimes, but I don't need to. But that's all they were talking about, like walking down the street, was, you know, how they were basically essentially going to, let's put this in the, the layman's terms, learning Ebonics. I will beat this individual up for what they have done to me, you know, type of deal. And they were just walking with that sense that they were better than everybody else, and that they were just... Look at that, way more centered. That they were just, better than sliced bread, essentially, is what it came down to. And I should get an axe. I have an axe. It's gonna break, but I have an axe. And we were walking up to an intersection, and the light, as we're at least 10 steps away from it, turns yellow. Walk up to the intersection, still at least 3 steps away from it, it turned red. Like the little walk sign turned from, the little walk guy to the hand guy, essentially. We're walking up to it, and I'm a step behind them. So there's still a couple steps out of the intersection. There's 3 of them that are walking. And it turns, and 2 of them, literally, you could just see it in their eyes. They looked at the light that was now red. They looked at the car and just gave him this look like, you better effing not, and just kept walking across the street. And the car started to go, and then one of the cars like slammed on the brakes. Granted, it hadn't moved very far because it was like sitting at the intersection waiting, because luckily it noticed them like being stupid like this. One of the people that they were with was like, he stopped and he tried to grab them and pull them back, because I think he was the smart one of the bunch who realized, like, we should not walk across roads when cars are coming, and we do not have the right of way right now. He tried to grab his friends and pull them back, and he reached his hand out and grabbed one by the shoulder and pulled him back. And I'm mimicking this, you guys can't see it, but he reached out and grabbed him by the shoulder and pulled him back, and the one literally like did that little turn like this, like, huh, get your hand off me, and just kept walking across the street like it was nothing. And you could see the look on his face was kind of sheer panic of, oh my god, what should I do? I better just keep going across the street with them, because otherwise I'll be looked at like a fool. You could tell, like, this was the thought process that was going through his mind, that he better do the same thing that they're doing. Otherwise he's going to look like that, that guy who's just that goody two-shoes type person who won't do, who won't do like the bad boy type of stuff. And I was just looking at these kids and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you realize you're not invincible. And I know it's, this is me sounding like an old man, because yes, kids always think that they're invincible. That's like the way of the world. Like I thought I was invincible at one point as well. It's the way that it is. But I thought I was invincible, but I will tell you that I've never just blatantly walked across the street with cars that I knew were moving when I didn't have the right of way, just because I thought I was better and more important than you were. I'm sorry, like, that is not anything I have ever done. And I feel like, yes, I've done stupid things when I was younger. I also feel that by being smarter than just doing something as idiotic as this could easily cause, and it's not like, yeah, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I've gone skydiving in my life. Is that dangerous? Of course it's dangerous. It's something that could get me killed, but I do it for the adrenaline rush. I don't think these kids were walking across the busy intersection for the adrenaline rush. They were walking across it because they feel entitled, and they feel like they're better than everybody else who's around. And I think that's freaking sick. Like, if you're a kid watching this, not only is that just an asshole type thing to do, but you're gonna get yourself killed. I feel like I've made enough accidental mistakes of accidentally walking out into an intersection because I wasn't paying attention and been lucky that somebody stopped, that I don't want to risk it trying to do it because I'm just being a pretentious asshole. Like, because it's probably not going to necessarily work out well. Many, but especially in an area like this, there's so many people who are here from out of town that they're not paying attention. They're trying to pay attention to where the hell they're at. They're looking at a GPS. They're looking at a map, trying to understand these DC roads, and you're going to be that dickhead who walks in front of them because you feel entitled and that they better stop. You're going to be sorry one of these days. Like, I'm sorry, but... Oh yeah, I forgot Nebris is on. Just kids, be careful and don't be an asshole. Like that's really all there is to it. Like there's so many easy ways to get through life. You can even feel entitled and feel better than everybody else. But if you really want to feel entitled and that you're better than everybody else, don't be so stupid that you're just going to oh no, it's stuck. That you're going to do something so stupid that very easily could just get you, killed because you're dumb. That being said, I wish I could get one of these fences, but there's too many. There's too many cows. Cow, get away. How do I do this? See, look, you can't put... People keep telling me to put these things up here to make sure I don't, like, lose cows like I'm about to right now. There we go. I did it. I can jump on this now. But I don't know what it's come down to. Maybe it's just the area that I'm living in. Maybe it's because I'm becoming an old man or what. But I really do feel like certain groups of individuals, and I'm sure they've always been like this, though. And it's just like I'm noticing it now a lot more because I'm an adult. I'm sure that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, certain groups of individuals just feel like that, they're so much more entitled than everybody else. And I'll tell you, this is random and ridiculous. I went to the store, I went to the liquor store last week at some point, and the liquor, I usually walk there because it's walking distance from the house, and so I'll just walk there from my house, get a little bit of exercise and get, some nice, fresh air or whatever, and also there's, might be difficult for me to find parking when I come back because it does get a little bit busy in my area when you park for a long period of time, or excuse me, when it's certain times of the day and you park and you might not necessarily be able to get the, your spot back. But the liquor store has one door to walk into it. It's not like this massive, crazy liquor store like this big department store. It's a store with one door. And this one door, it's got a ramp that leads up to it from the middle, and then from the sides you can like kind of walk up like other ramps too, but they're like smaller ramps. I need to get more potatoes, don't I? Oh no, I got 28 potatoes here. Let's start cooking some more. There we go. Do I actually have potatoes to go plant? I might not have potatoes to go plant. I better grab a handful of these and go plant them. And there's the middle ramp has two poles that go up to assist like handicapped people walking up, whereas the two side ones do not. But hi, buddy. Oh my god, I just saw the creeper. I just saw him. I let him through a cactus field, so he took some damage, but man, I saw him last minute. And I can't put lights in there properly right now. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay. 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 Whew. And somebody had ridden their bike up to the store. That's great. You ride your bike up to the store. You get some exercise. That's awesome. Oh my God, I can't even do this. I hope that is enough to keep some light in here. Maybe. Oh, I can't put it there. But they literally, I don't even get it. They parked their bike directly in front of the door. And when I say directly in front of the door, I don't mean in front of the door like to the side of the door. I mean to the point where I don't know how they got inside the store after they parked their bike. But literally, it was because they thought that they were just entitled. There was so much other room in this parking lot that they could have easily put their bike, but they literally put it in front of the door and must have like squoze around the door to get in. And I like walked up and I'm staring at this bike and I'm just like, hell, let's put this, like, let's make an example of this. If this blue wool is the bike and this is the door that goes into the liquor store, there's a ramp here and a ramp here. They all converge in this spot, and there's the ramp here with the poles. That's where they put their bike. I'm not kidding. And I like walked up and I like looked and I was like, I'm like looking around. I'm like, who the hell's bike is this? And I go squeezing around. I can't do it because it's not a half a block, but I like squeeze around and open the door a crack enough to be able to like squeeze into this place and then shut the door. And I'm just like looking around trying to like figure out who it is. And I see this guy like, he's at the store, or he's at the counter. He buys like his pack of smokes or whatever the hell he bought, and he walked out and he like got on his bike. He blocked everybody like from getting in while he like moved his bike and like undid the kickstand on it after he squoze out the door. And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? Like I just don't get it. Why people have to be such, I don't know, such jerks about things. It makes absolutely no sense. So, oh my god. Oh my god, creepers! You freaking creepers! Okay, I'm just aimlessly running around at this point because I want to look at you creepers. Okay, we're just going back up to my house and I'm hiding inside. Hopefully make it before creepers blow up and we'll be good. But anyways, moral of the story, if you don't want to be an asshole in life, you don't need to be an asshole in life. It's really easy not to be an asshole. If you want to be an asshole, go ahead and just do all those things I just told you about, because then, sir or ma'am, you truly are an asshole. So, anyways, on that note, I love everybody, and I will see you guys next time.